Hello! Happy Halloween! In today's video, I'm looking at the binding of Alexstrasza, Grim Batol, and the Arathi Bloodline from Chronicle Volume 2. I really wanted to do a Halloween special, but these stories aren't all that spooky. But let's go! Alexstrasza and her red dragons were currently searching for whichever jerk stole the demon soul, and their investigation soon led them to the orcs. They arrived just in time to see the Horde's assault on Khazad-dûm, and Alexstrasza was like, I really want to help the dwarves and gnomes, but I'm not gonna. The demon soul was her priority. If it fell into the wrong hands, it could spell doom for the entire world. The Lifebinder soon discovered the artifact was in possession of a Dragonmaw orc called Necros. His clan were experimenting with it and abusing its power, and the red dragons were like, well, that ain't cool. So they descended on the orcs, and it was definitely going to be easy. Orcs are primitive and stuff. There's no way they could have unlocked the secrets of the demon. Oh my god. Turned out, Necros had learned much about the artifact. Deathwing had sent him dreams and visions, teaching the orc of the demon soul's true power and how to wield it. The most important bit of knowledge Deathwing shared was the relic's ability to enslave dragon aspects. Alexstrasza's body was struck with excruciating pain, and she plummeted from the sky. Necros then enslaved her, and the rest of the clan swarmed the red dragon and bound her in chains. The other red dragons tried to help, and Necros knew he couldn't use the demon soul on Alexstrasza and her mates at the same time. It's totally possible, but he didn't know enough to do that. So every time a red dragon got close, he'd lash out at the Lifebinder. And the red dragons soon got the message. And that message was, attack us, and your boss suffers, you bunch of knobs. By doing this, Necros had effectively bound all of the red dragons to his will. They feared if they didn't do as they were told, Alexstrasza would be tortured, or even killed. Word of this accomplishment quickly reached the rest of the Horde, and Warchief Doomhammer was over the moon. They now had yet another weapon in their arsenal, although it would take some time to figure out how to use them in battle. He commanded the Dragonmaw clan to take control of Grim Batol, a spooky fortress in the mountains, east of the wetlands. It had once belonged to the Wildhammer dwarfs, but they'd abandoned it long ago, 'cause it's cursed and stuff. Bah! Necros and his followers chained the Lifebinder in Grim Batol's depths. Then they got to work on mastering the art of using red dragons as battle mounts, just like they had the Rylak back on Draenor. Necros kept watch of Alexstrasza, and she was like, Oi, I'm gonna destroy you. And Necros was like, whatevs. He had every right to be cocky. As long as he had the demon soul, he was untouchable. At some point, Alexstrasza began laying eggs. Now I know what you're thinking, and the answer is no. That would be weird. Interesting fact, there have been cases in the real world where captured female hammerhead sharks started reproducing asexually, which is bloody mental. But you're not here for boring facts about sharks, so Necros saw this strange development as a golden opportunity. If they could successfully hatch the eggs, they'd have an endless supply of battle mounts. Far away, Deathwing was having a whale of a time. He continued to subtly advise Necros on how to use the demon soul. Not only would this serve his plan to restore the black dragonflight, but also, he knew full well that seeing her kin used as tools of war would break Alexstrasza's heart, and that was just bloody hilarious. Bah! Meanwhile, the Alliance were also bolstering their forces. Lothar wasn't going to take any chances against the Horde. He'd take help from wherever he could, including the High Elves of Kel'Thalas. They'd swore an oath to King Thoradin after the war with the Amani all those years ago, and since Lothar was part of Thoradin's bloodline, they'd definitely make good on that ancient pact. Definitely. When Lothar's call to war reached Kel'Thalas, Anasterian Sunstrider was like, yeah, but the orcs don't really seem to be all that much of a threat to us. He only sent a small elven fleet to the Alliance, and commanded the rest of his forces to stay put. But some of his peeps disobeyed that command. A highly skilled ranger captain called Illyria Windrunner was like, sod this, and brought a handful of fellow elves south. She knew the Horde was a much greater threat than the other elves realised, plus she wanted to see what they could do. On the inside, Lothar was a little bit annoyed and disappointed by the small contribution to the war effort from the High Elf King, but he didn't show it publicly. He welcomed the elves with open arms. The rangers in particular would come in handy. They'd needed archers, scouts and mobile support troops anyway. As the elves arrived in Hillsbrad foothills, so too did some bad news. They'd expected the Horde to cross the Thandalspan Bridge. That would have given the Alliance more time to prepare, but scouts reported that the orcs had built a fleet of ships and were ready to set sail. This second war was going to happen a lot sooner than he'd hoped. Since Hillsbrad was the most likely place they'd make landfall, he urged the rest of the armies to get a bloody move on and get here. He had an idea of how to delay the orcish fleet for the time being. It's Admiral Dalen Proudmoore in the Alliance Navy's time to shine. Bah! And we're leaving it there! In the next Volume 2 video, the Alliance are going to find out that the Horde have dragons and Death Knights, which probably won't be very nice for them. As always, thanks very much to those of you who support the channel as patrons. Links in the description if anyone's interested in supporting the channel in that way. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, all of that bollocks. And all that's left to say is, thanks for watching, and see ya!